So I was going to be on Conan for the first time, and there was like days notice, and I tell my parents, and my mom's like, "Oh, wow, Shane's going to be on Conan O'Brien." I has no idea. I was never heard of the guy, knows nothing about him. But I'm going to be on TV, and that's a big deal. So she tells a bunch of family members and stuff, and she's super, especially at the time, me becoming a comedian kind of shook everything up enough to like loosen up the family some. It was good for them. But at the time, it was like saying naughty words or swearing or talking about genitalia or something like that was very, very taboo. So anyhow, they'd told my grandparents. And my grandma, my sweet, especially when I was growing up, she was sweeter. Toward the end of her life, she got pretty political and less sweet. But you know, she is sweet, well-meaning lady who.
It's funny when you say get political with the negative context. We always know which side you're talking about.
Yeah. She got wrapped up into a cult and got taken for a ride. Super unfortunate.
Yeah, it's never like she got really political and just wouldn't stop talking about unions and how we got to like get more and strengthen them and get health care for people. It's always.
So my grandma like plays organ in the choir at the same church that they lived like 2 blocks away from. They would walk to church, her and my grandpa. She'd play in the she'd play organ. My grandpa would sing in the choir, wholesome church-going folk, and my grandma finds out that her grandson is gonna be on the TV, and she wants to be really supportive, and so she printed out flyers.
No.
Which I want to see those flyers too. As far as I know, she doesn't know how to do like Photoshop. This is 2000s. She probably worked super hard on it. If I had to guess, she put so much effort into it. And she... because they're always like, you know, they're thoughtful, like making gifts for, like my mom has a whole like gift wrapping station in her house. It's just like at least once a week she's like making some gift for somebody. It's a whole
you have said that she loves like, Christmas, so it's like she's extended Christmas into everything.
My mom watches the Hallmark Channel from about September. September's the latest until March, and if you've never seen the Hallmark Channel, it's every movie's the same. What happens is there's like 2 people meet and they're like right for each other, but there's some like sort of conflict where they're not sure if it can work, and then Christmas brings them together. And that's every movie, and there's so many of them
except for the Odysseus one, which I liked. Hallmark made they exclusively made a movie about Odysseus. And
what's Odysseus? I thought you were just making up a thing.
Or it's called the Odyssey. You know, Homer's Odyssey. He goes on. He leaves his hometown. He meets the sirens. He fights the Cyclops. He gets fucked in the ass, whatever, like all those trials and tribulations that happen. And then like he gets home and then all these...
Put that on the Hallmark Channel?
Maybe not one of those things I mentioned, but the Cyclops and the sirens and the, whatever, the stuff he goes through. And then he gets home and then all these other suitors are trying to marry his wife. And then he gets home and then he just kills all of those men that are trying to get his wife after he's been gone for 20 years. And they show all that. They show him like just impaling guys with a spear up against the wall. And they thought he was dead. They thought he wasn't coming back. These are noblemen. They have every right to try to claim the stuff. And then he just gets back and him and his son just kill everybody. It was nicely done for a Hallmark movie of a Greek, what is it? The Iliad and the Odyssey. Those are the 2 Homer books. Highly recommend.
Is the one the flying too close to the sun one?
That's Icarus. The
Oh,
Icarus
that's
tail,
Icarus.
yeah.
Right,
and don't forget
right.
that the Icarus tail also says don't fly too low.
Don't fly too low. Yeah, salt water. You don't want to get salt water on those wings.
Mhm.
But definitely, if your dad told you that he just fashioned some wings out of feathers and wants you both to jump off a cliff,
Dads always have
do it.
inventions. Dads are constantly inventing stuff. They have to.
He probably made up the story about whatever threat. Wasn't there some monster trapped in the center of this and that got
I
out,
don't remember that part, but yeah, probably.
that they were like guarding or imprisoned or something? I don't know.
I should brush up on it.
I really don't care about those things.
But get back to the flyer, though. I want to see where this goes.
So she tells everyone, and literally hands out flyers to like everyone in church, and she plays organ and sings in the choir, so she's at every one of the, like, every single mass, not just a mass, every single one. And this is like everyone in her town. So she hands out a flyer to like every single person in her town, essentially, who then watch me on Conan O'Brien with their same sensibility. No, this isn't exactly true, because like my mom and my grandma took it like, like, oh my gosh, dirty words. But it's because it's their son or grandson doing it.
Were you dirty on Conan, though? I thought Conan was pretty clean. I mean, it's not Tonight Show, Letterman.
Yeah,
it's a little raunchier.
I had some like edgier. I mean, just like my girlfriend's kind of pessimistic in the bedroom. The vagina's always half empty, I think was one of my jokes, something like that. Not even that great of a joke. God,
I like it. It's a fun one-liner.
It's fine.
Maybe not like 20 years in, but as a young lad, you can get rid of. You're more likable as a young, 20-something comic.
About badges as a young lad, as a sweet-faced Midwestern.
Yes,
that's what people want: sweet-faced, innocent-looking Midwestern boys presuming to know things about vaginas.
Yes, they do. But you got to take advantage of that. I don't know, whatever it is. The aw shucksness, as you describe it, which it doesn't work in your 40s. In your 40s, you have to take on a different persona, which hopefully you will have grown into naturally by then. But people clinging to their 20, like, this worked when I was 20. How come people don't find me adorable now?
I think I can pull off an aw shucks still, but it's more of like a cartoonish, like it's not a genuine aw shucks. You know, it's a pretend aw shucks. But yeah, there's so anyway, my grandma was like so horrified that I like said the word vagina or whatever on a late night television show, and she had told everyone. They ended up, I probably shouldn't mischaracterize this story because they claim that this isn't true, but it's odd timing. But they, right after that, went to a totally different church than the church that they had been going. That's 2 blocks. That's a walk that they play organ in and sing in the choir and stuff. They're just like, we're going to change churches and drive.
Well, what's their reason then if it had no relation?
I'm sure they just like made up some sort of thing.
No, your version is the true one.
Oh, of course.